on January 7th, and I was born in 96. So I'm technically a 90s baby. I may not remember the 90s. I only lived in it for 3 years. But I remember having to get on the internet, and every time you get on the internet, you couldn't use the phone. And it would make this sound every time you would get on it. But there was some good things. The 90s cartoons were really good, like the Rugrats. That was my favorite show. Not only was Rugrats my favorite show, but so was Barney. Yes, I'm really ashamed to admit that Barney was my favorite show. Another one of my favorite shows was The Big Comfy Couch. I got to meet one of the characters, and I got a Molly doll, a Lynette doll, and the Dust Bunnies. Another of my favorite shows was The Amanda Show, and all of that. You can't forget shows like Hey Arnold, Lizzie McGuire, That's So Raven, Cat Dog, and Drake and Josh, Dragon Tales, and The Big Red Dog. Another one of my favorite TV shows was Kim Possible. My favorite was Rufus, the naked mole rat. Now, he was so cute. When I was little, I always wanted a naked mole rat, except I didn't know what they actually looked like. I thought they looked like Rufus. But no, they look like this. I'm putting that in my house. What if it gets out of its cage and you wake up to that? Also, when I was in elementary school, we would always watch the Magic School Bus. We also had Wonderball. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it was a milk chocolate ball. Every Easter, I would get one of those. I also got a milk chocolate dinosaur egg with a chocolate dinosaur inside. Now, every time I would get one of those, I would never eat the chocolate dinosaur. I don't know why. I would save it, and my mom would have to throw it away when I wasn't looking. I was like, she would sneak and throw it away when I wasn't looking because it got too old. Now, one thing I still have from my childhood is this, the Gameboy SP. Alright, I spent hours on this. I played games like Legends of Zelda, Powerpuff Girls, Strawberry Shortcake. I still have them all in this container. I had more. I have no idea where they disappeared to. Before I got the Game Boy SP, I had the Game Boy Color, but then I traded it in for the Game Boy SP. I still have the original Game Boy from when my mom was growing up. She gave me that. It's somewhere in the box in my room. I still play this sometimes. I also still have the original PlayStation. That was another big part of my childhood. Harry Potter was my favorite game. I also would play games like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Sonic, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and so much more. I would just spend all my time playing video games. I remember getting the Baby Alive, and oh my gosh, that thing was terrifying. Like, you'd sit it down and you wouldn't be playing with it or anything, and all of a sudden it would just start talking. And not only was that terrifying, but the Teletubbies were terrifying. I mean, look at that thing. That's creepy. Woo! This is called a Play It Now. Before I had an MP3 player, I had this. What you would do is you would plug it into a CD player and you would record music. It would only hold 12 songs. Speaking of CD players, I would use that thing all the time. These were also a pain because they were kind of heavy to carry around, especially if you want to take a walk or a run. You have to hold this in your hand the whole time, and then sometimes you drop it, and then when you drop it, it would pop up like this when it hit the ground, and then the CD would come flying out. Then the CD would scratch. Speaking of terrible technology, can't forget them old Nokia phones. I had one of these when I was in middle school. I didn't have a smartphone or an iPhone. Everyone's favorite cell phone then was the Motorola Razr and the Juke that was also a built-in MP3 player. I remember always wanting the Juke phone, but I never got one. I also wanted the chocolate phone too, but I never got that either. But what I did get that I always wanted, I was in 7th grade and 8th grade when I got it, was one of those phones that slide up like this, and then there's a keyboard underneath it. I had one in 7th grade and I had one in 8th grade. The one in 7th grade was plain black. It kind of looked like a touchscreen, but it wasn't. And the one in 8th grade was white and aqua. One of my favorite things from my childhood was going to Blockbuster and renting a movie and getting candy. I used to love that. We didn't have Netflix. Another one of my favorites when I was in elementary school was the Crybaby ice cream. Now, they don't make that anymore. They might, but they don't anywhere near me. It was my favorite. I wish they still made it. Another one of my favorites was Discovery Zone. I had that in the mall that was about an hour or two away from me. Not only did they have that, but inside the mall we had rides, we had games, we had all kinds of really cool stuff, and Johnny's Toys. Every birthday, I would get a key to go to Johnny's Toys, and I would get to go into their castle, and I got to choose a toy. Another one of my favorites was Reptar Crunch from the Rugrats. It was a cereal. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Leave a comment telling me if you remember some of these items. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're a lot younger than me. Maybe there's items that I didn't mention.